Okay, hello everyone, nice to see you back. We are ready to start a new school year here in Reload, so we will have some conversation for today about the importance of learning English. If you were there some months ago, during the months of April and May, we were having some conversations lessons as well about different kind of topics, yes, and we will have one once again today. Good. So for the people who don't know me, my name is Patricio. I come from Argentina. Since the year 2013 I am living and working here in Kirov, here in Relol. So many of you know me. For the ones who don't, okay, nice to meet you. Good. Okay, good. Most of us or most of you have some knowledge of English, so I will try to motivate you, or I will try to let you know some circumstances in which your knowledge can be used and can be useful, especially for you. Good. I will tell about different situations in which English language was very useful for me in my life, and perhaps you will identify yourself with some similar situations. Good. Okay. Good. So all of you know that English is a global language. So what does it mean? So it's not only spoken in the countries that is officially the language, but all over the world. So you know, many times the people who had the opportunity to go abroad, okay, found themselves talking with a person, I don't know, let's say in Turkey, in Egypt, in Thailand, in many countries, okay, not using the local language or not using Russian, but only English. Good. So that is a reality. I remember some cases in which I was traveling. For example, as I come from Argentina, I did some trips by Latin America too, and it was surprising that there were not language barriers between the people who could communicate in English. Yes, because people from such distant places like New Zealand, like some people from Germany, or even Brazilians, all of them were talking English. So although Spanish and Portuguese are very similar language, so we speak Spanish in Argentina and people in Brazil speak Portuguese, those languages are you can understand more or less each other, but after some time, after just a few minutes of conversations with them, we understood that, okay, maybe your Spanish is not so good, my Portuguese is not so good, okay, we can switch to English and that will be much better. Yes, although most of words are mutually understandable between Spanish and Portuguese as well. But I think having a basic knowledge of English can give you the opportunity to meet with this kind of people traveling, and even if you are not traveling, sometimes people come to your place. Good. I remember nowadays I quite actively do it. Okay, maybe not in the last 4 or 5 months, but before that, yes. And well, at university, for example, we had the chance to talk with people who came for exchange opportunities. So there was very nice to have live conversations with them, yes, and in that way to start talking better. Good. I remember one good experience. I think that helps you to develop yourself, yes, and have a much better or much unexpected conversations. I guess some of them know what couch surfing is, so for the ones who don't, I tell is a website in which you can register yourself, yes, and you can host people, travelers who are arriving to your city, or on the other way around, if you are visiting somewhere else, okay, you can be hosted by some other people. Good. So in that way I had my profile in that page, and once I remember an Australian guy wrote me and he wanted me to host him at home. So I think it was a memorable experience because he was a professional writer, so he wrote the script for the TV shows. Good. So I not only had the chance to improve my language with the native speakers, but also to get closer to Australian culture, which for me was something very exotic. Good. So when you get into this atmosphere, you at the beginning don't realize, but after even a couple of intensive days of speaking, okay, you understand that your mind begins to work differently. Good. I think that's also a separated topic, how the learning of languages can influence in your mind. So there are several researches that show that people who can speak different languages, okay, tend to suffer less from illnesses like Alzheimer and so on. So if you want to keep your health, your mind healthy, okay, excellent idea is to practice languages. Good. I think once you know, for example, English, it will help you to help you study other European languages such as English, French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, and so on, because there are a lot of mutual words with those languages. Good. I guess also it's not so difficult. I guess if you compare Russian grammar and Russian and English grammar, I guess that you, although Russian is your native language, you realize how difficult can it be for foreigners to, okay, be careful enough to use properly all the endings you have for the different topics or the different ideas you want to express in Russian. Good. So such similar things are not in English as well. So I guess that if you are insistent enough, okay, in a period of, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, you can get a basic level of English, and from that base start improving. Personally, I have the experience of learning English and learning Russian as well, and it took me much more to reach that basic level of Russian than to reach the basic level of English. Good. And I have to admit that my preparation for Russian was much more intensive because okay, before moving here I spent 3 years learning or trying to learn the language, but once I moved here, okay, I realized that I need a lot of practice to improve. Yes, and I was living all the time here, talking most of the time in that language. So I think English is not like that, it's more accessible to that. Another advantage I found is that, for example, even if your English is not perfect, even if you commit some mistakes, okay, you should improve them, yes, but people anyway will understand you. Okay, if the mistakes are not so serious, okay, people will get the meaning of what you want to say. Or I think that is much harder when we compare with the Russian language or with some other languages as well. Good. Good. So perhaps if we think about the difficulties we can find about English, yes, some of them will say pronunciation, yes, but for Russian speakers, I guess that is not a big deal because in your language you have most of the sounds. So I can't think about the sound that exists in English but not in Russian. Yes, I think the other way around is much harder. So as English speaking people don't have the sound r, yes, for them, okay, sounds okay, quite troubleful to learn it. Good. So you don't have the same problem. Good. I guess another difficulty is that when it comes about the order of sentences in Russian, yes, so sometimes you can put the words in different order and it doesn't matter, yes. In English you have to follow a certain structure, yes, but I guess that is not a big deal because you just have to learn some formulas, yes, or some orders. Good. And if you get used to repeat that, okay, you won't have problems at all. Good. One of the complaints I listen from my students is that at least when they are beginning, then after some time not the long time they get used to that. Good. So is that sometimes we write a word and the combinations of letters can be the same but can be pronounced in different ways. Yes, according to the vowels that will come after that, and so on. So for Russian speakers that can be a bit complicated at the beginning, but what my experience shows is that you can overpass these difficulties easily with just some practice, with some exercises and so on. So if you really want, okay, that it won't be a big obstacle on that. Good. With my students, I realized that people who really wish, okay, they do it. It's not something impossible. Good. Okay. Good. So that another reasons. Good. And I guess also in general life, for example, since I was a teenager, one of my ideas was to know as much as I could about Russia, about Russian culture, Russian literature, and anything related to this country, because for a long time I thought about the idea of moving here. So what I did, as I didn't have the opportunity, the possibility at the beginning to visit the place, okay, one way to travel was through the books or to the articles I could find. So I quickly realized that the available knowledge in my native language about Russia was very limited. Yes, so it was easy to find, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 really good books about reality here. So I went for it in the beginning. But after that, I understood, okay, if I want to keep improving the knowledge I have from this country, okay, I need to do something else, something different. Good. So I understood that there were a lot of bibliography, a lot of books published in English about Russia. Good. Not in my native language. And of course, I was not good enough yet to read in Russian. And on the other hand, that was like 10 years ago or maybe a bit more. So books in Russian in my country, it was not possible to buy. Good. And the other topic, or the other thing I understood easily, is that most of web pages or specialized web pages are in English language. So when it comes of any kind of science, yes, no matter which one will be, okay, so most probabilities is that the content will be in English. So in case you don't know it, okay, you feel you are missing too much. Good. I remember feeling a bit disappointed when I couldn't find the access of material of history, politics, economy about Russia in my own language, but then I realized, okay, all of that is in English, so you need to talk properly. Good. I know people in Russia are very educated. Yes, they are very interested. So I know you have already realized about that. So English will only help you to keep developing yourself, even if you are not planning to move or to travel and so on. Good. And I guess that internet is changing our reality all the time. So it's more and more common that you live in Kirov, but maybe your company, the company you are working for, is not located here, but somewhere else. And I think the current events that we are having related with this virus and so on will only speed it up, this process. Good. So more and more people are finding their job opportunities through the internet. Yes, and I guess if you live in a country like Russia, an excellent idea is to try to look for your source of incomes abroad. Yes, so to get paid in the currency of Europe or United States and so on, so it's more profitable for you. We have a lot of stereotypes about Russia abroad. One of them is that population can be very educated. Yes, that education is very good, that universities really know what to do. Yes, so I think that people here are very talented to find jobs abroad. Yes, I meet a lot of people that says that okay, we would prefer to move abroad and so on, and that complain about job opportunities here. Yes, I think most of people are right on what they say, but I guess nowadays we have the chance to create those possibilities by ourselves. Yes, I don't know. Every day is more and more possible to sell the product of your work abroad. Yes, so if you are a designer, if you are I don't know, a teacher, if you have any kind of talent, is becoming easier and easier. If you are a programmer, a designer, something like that, is every time easier to find jobs abroad without needing to move to those places, and even without needing to know the language they speak in those countries. So English will only open new doors. Yes, and there you can decide where to live. I think this kind of this gives you a flexibility that we have never imagined before. Good, because having your work online, yes, you don't need to stay only in one place. You don't need to work to an office. Yes, to be always on the same time at work. Good, so yes, you can do that without knowing English. I perfectly agree with that, but the knowledge of this language can just increase and give you much more chances to do what you dream. Good. So many people complain about how difficult the situation is nowadays. Yes, I agree that it's not equal for everyone, that we can't react in the same way to these events. Yes, but I think we can find a way and even use this crisis like something that can transform our way of life. Good? So, okay, once again, I repeat, knowing English can give you the opportunity to live wherever you want, or even if you are on the same place, just working from your house can provide you a big advantage and avoid some of the things we don't like for example traffic jams or spending too much time commuting, so going from one place to another. Good. So I guess that's something we have to do. Good. Okay, at the same time, if we talk about business, yes, I guess the knowledge of English will only be profitable in the first time, in the first place for you. Yes, if you have to negotiate some payments or the way to do it or the timetables you will have and so on, okay, you can use those words to find mutual understanding with people and so on. Good. Good. And if you're not interested in job, if you have solved that problem for you and so on, okay, when it comes to the world of entertainment, yes, and we are talking here from books, from literature, from the television, from movies and so on, okay, video games, yes, okay, most of that content is also in English as well. Good. So when you have the possibility to speak fluently, okay, that content is also available for you. Good. Good. So those of the things that you find more common when it comes of learning a language. Good. I think it's not the same for everyone. I understand when I meet with people that some of them can start learning very quickly. Some of them have tried for several times. They failed, but I think important is to keep trying, yes, and I really wish that. And most important for me is to be constant. So even if you don't have lessons every day, it's necessary to study a bit every day. So no day off when it comes of learning languages. It doesn't mean that you will be doing grammar exercises every day, but it means that you will be listening to music, to listening to the radio, to watching some TV programs or some videos on YouTube, with maybe communicated with some people in English. Good. So in that way, every day you get a bit better than the previous day. Good. So in that way, you don't realize quickly your progress, but after a month, 2, 3, okay, you began to realize about that. Good. So no days off for that. I know people have different talents, so for some of them it's much easier, for some of them much harder. Yes. And well, I think here it comes the skills or the ability of the teachers to keep motivated these people, or to find a way to make English or any kind of knowledge accessible or easy for them too. Yes, find a way in which you can absorb that knowledge as well. Good. Also important is not to give up here. Good. And understand what is your purpose for that, and understand how much can your life change if you get that goal. Yes, and how different things can be for you, and how many opportunities can you create for yourself. Good. And how many good things can you do for other people, or for people around you, in case you can get that knowledge. Good. So I think that is quite motivating. That was my main goal when I was learning Russian. So my dream was to travel by this country. Good. So by living in Argentina, I understood that it could be impossible if I stay there, because okay, distances are too long, so you need a big budget to travel by Russia if you are not living here. Good. And you need a lot of time too. Good. So okay, I decided I have to learn the language, and of course at the beginning it was something really tough, really difficult. Most of people didn't encourage me to do so. They asked me, okay, what for? They asked me, okay, why Russian and not Chinese? Chinese is the language of the future, they told me. Okay, but I have clear my objectives, my goals. I really wanted this. Yes, so I decided to stop listening the voices that were not giving positive advices. Yes, and I was convinced that I had to do it, that I was right. So if you have such a feeling, okay, go ahead. Sometimes people who didn't achieve, or who don't want to achieve that, will not encourage you, but in this case it's up to you to know who will you listen to, and okay, just focus on what you really think. So that is the most important. When you are motivated, when you know what do you want to get from this, okay, it will be much easier. And I don't know, anytime you do some grammar exercises, some exams, or every lessons, okay, you understand, okay, I'm getting closer to that goal. Good. It's not necessary to hurry up, it's just necessary not to stop. Good. So that is another advice I can give, basing on the experience I had. Good. So in that way you create more opportunities for yourself, and you understand how life can change because of that. Good. When I moved to Russia, I understood my language is not good enough. Yes, but from this I can start improving. Good. Okay, what I am very thankful for English language is that it gave me the opportunity to accomplish many of these dreams in my life. Good. And I think all of us have different dreams, but I think it's common for people to get this tool to accomplish them. Good. So those are the advices I can give you for that. Good. Well, as you know, all the year we have different kind of courses for different kind of levels, so feel free to call, to come here, and if you really want to do it, okay, we will find a way for that. Good. Personally, just to tell you goodbye, just very happy to be here, to be living in this city. Yes, I enjoy this period of the year. Yes, because in my opinion it's the most beautiful of the year, when the nature has different colors and so on. Good. So very happy for that too. So once again, welcome here, and okay, hope to meet you soon.